Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Hira Byrne-Paulin. I am with the Palomar College Military Readiness Education, or MRE program. MRE aims to destigmatize disability topics in the military community. In addition, we aim to address the stigma associated with disability services and the aversion to seek such support in military-affiliated populations. Many veterans with and without service-connected disabilities don't realize the VA or community and campus-based disability services they may be eligible for. One way we are working to increase knowledge of such resources is through presentations like today. We are extremely grateful for this collaboration with CalVet. If you would like more information about the MRE program or Palomar College services, please complete the MRE follow-up form. I'll be dropping that into the chat along with my contact information. Thank you again for being here, and I'm going to hand it off to Sean.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And it's good to have everybody here for the VA healthcare overview. My name is Sean Campbell, and I work with CalTAP, California Transition Assistance Program. I'd like to begin our presentation today by just going over a couple of different items. Please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and your consent is required. Participation in this meeting will act as your acknowledgement for the recording. You'll notice that your cameras and mics are off, and we do that to just deter distractions and increase bandwidth. We got a great agenda today. We've got Lance, who's a local interagency network coordinator, and we have some information from VA Healthcare Overview from Charles. You will notice that the chat box below has been disabled. And we've done that so we can provide you with resources in the chat box. Any questions that you have, we ask that you drive them towards the question and answer box. So that way, my teammate, Derek, can help out and answer those questions as we're going through. And also at the end of the presentation, we'll have some time to provide you with some questions and answers. CalTAP overview. What is California Transition Assistance Program? What do we do? Who are we? My name's Sean Campbell. I did 7 years in the Navy. I was a hospital corpsman with the Fleet Marine Force, had a chance to live up to all their promises and travel around and see the world and do all kinds of cool and interesting stuff. Met a lot of great people from a variety of services. And one of the things that I've learned is that our needs as service members, as veterans, as family members, they continually change throughout time. Our needs change. And so CalTAP is here to assist you throughout all those changes and provide information and make sure that you get networked with the benefits and the resources that are out there. We're designed to inform and connect veterans of all eras, not just today or yesterday, but all eras about the benefits that they've earned from federal state benefits, as well as provide continued support and assistance. As I said before, we noticed that people's needs change over time, and we've kind of identified 5 pathways that we try to drive people towards to get them the most information they need: core curriculum, education, employment, if you want to be that person that starts their own business, entrepreneurship. And then there are a large number of service providers that are out there to help you. One of the most awesome things that you're going to find is the Veterans Resource Book. My teammate, Derek, is going to put a digital copy in the chat log, but there's also physical copies available for you as well. This book is a tool for empowerment, for enlightenment. It's designed to give you a really good working knowledge of all the different benefits that you have that are out there. And it's such a, my teammates call it a bucket of benefits, because there's so much information in this resource book that really applies to everybody who's connected with the military, whether it be service members, family members, veterans. It's a great book. And again, the download for it should be in the chat box there. We have a website, calvet.ca.gov. This is a tool that's designed to provide you 24/7 access. So that way you can look into getting more information about the benefits that's out there. Everything about advocacy, home loans, healthcare, you name it. There's just tons of information. Information about veterans homes. And if you drive yourself towards this website, that provides that 24/7 access. You'll see our landing page, which will take you to specifically to the transition assistance program. I kind of mentioned it a little bit before, but let me go in a little more detail. Those 5 pathways, they have a lot of videos. They've got a lot of PDFs. They've got a lot of information that can help you really empower yourself about the benefits that are out there. There's also, if you look at the bottom, you can see it's highlighted a list of webinars that are previous videos. They give you a lot of information. The last time I looked, there was 117 videos on YouTube that were uploaded, and they're all just full of quality information about benefits and services that you're eligible for. If you look in the upper right hand corner on this website, you'll see it says My Calvet. There is a register button. We do ask that you use a non-DoD email address when you are registering for any of these things. How can I use CalTAP online? It's pretty user-friendly. That's one of the things that I like about it. You can pick one of the different pathways, whichever one is the most exciting to you at the moment. We normally recommend that you start off with the core curriculum. That gives just a little bit easier foundation, because that itself, you can see it highlighted in the upper left-hand corner. That itself will break down into like a huge variety of sections: healthcare, claims and compensation, and then of course the benefits specifically from the state of California, because California loves you and California definitely wants you to stay. So what is that magic question? What are my California benefits? California has so many benefits. I'm just going to give a brief overview of a lot of them, but I think one of the greatest benefits that a lot of people don't catch on to right away is that there are local interagency network coordinators. And these people are designed to work with you hand in hand and make sure that you understand that, that it's a process when you're going through some of these benefits. And the local interagency network coordinators are there to guide you. It's not just a 1-800 phone number. No, these are human beings that are out there specifically working for you to help you out. Also, the state of California has county veteran service offices, and they're throughout the United States. Some of them have been around since the Civil War, so they've got a lot of they've got a strong foundation. But the county veteran services offices are out there to help you as well. And these are just the different checkpoints that California set up to help you along the way to really help you navigate through that list of benefits that are out there. One of the most popular benefits that we get questions about is the college tuition fee waiver. And this is really designed for dependents of veterans with service disabilities of 0 rating or higher. It's designed to save tuition and fees at state-funded schools. The estimates are that it saves about $35 million a year, which is a lot. It covers things from the basics all the way up to the doctorate. And there are some thresholds for what students are allowed to make. But it's definitely an awesome program. And if you go back to our website, you can look at the details for 4 different qualifiers to get you some more information on that program. The DMV also has a program as well. One of the things the DMV likes to make sure veterans are aware of is that you can have the veterans designator on your driver's license. It's not a replacement for a DD-214, but what it does do is for a lot of, for a lot of non-government entities, it lets them understand that you are a veteran right away without having to give them your DD-214, a lot of personal information. And it just, it's going to open up doors for education benefits and things that you might not be aware of from non-government entities. Honoring veterans license plates, the DMV also offers license plates and has a license plate program. All of the money that is used for those programs goes back into veterans programs, so a lot of people really enjoy supporting that. And there's a lot of cool iconography that you can get for the different veterans license plates. Motor vehicle registration fee waiver program. This is something where if you have a mobility disability that's related to service connected, you can talk to the DMV specifically, and they'll let you know the checkpoints for actually getting registration waived for your vehicle. California has a large number of outdoor activities that I know I enjoy as a resident. The Department of Parks and Recreation has a Distinguished Veterans Pass, and it's something that you can that you're eligible to apply for. The other thing is the Department of Fish and Wildlife has special days for military whether you're a service member, active duty, or you're a veteran, they actually set aside special days, and under certain circumstances, you can actually apply for a reduced fees for your hunting license for disabled veterans. California has 58 counties. I'm not even going to pretend to tell you that I know all the different tax laws, but there are a lot of tax exemptions that are out there for disabled veterans, depending on the counties. I know for myself, one of my friends owns a business in Sacramento County, and because he is a business owner, and he's a veteran, they waive his business tax. So something to look into. You want to talk to the county assessor's office to get more specifics on the different programs that are out there regarding taxes. Calvet home loans. This is something that can be a little bit confusing, so let me try to explain it the best I can. The VA is a guarantee, right? The VA says, hey, we're going to make sure that you get funds as a veteran, as a service member. The VA is a guarantee. California, as a state, has Calvet home loans. So there are two different programs. With California, with a Calvet home loan, the state's actually loaning you the money to make the purchase of a home. Now, here's the beautiful thing. First of all, with a Calvet home loan, it's a different set of requirements. It's not based on like a traditional credit score. They handwrite your loan, but also you can use both programs at the same time, which is something that most people aren't aware of. And with housing prices doing this all over California, it's good to know that both of those options are out there for you. And again, we have one of our experts that's really good at that, Brad. And I believe my teammate's going to put some information about him into the chat box, so you can follow up on that if you got further questions later on. California has a women's veterans group, and the Women's Veterans Division provides information, advocacy, outreach, and support to California's women veterans. California has about 163,000 female veterans, and signing up for if you look right below on the screen where it says Women's Veterans Roster, that first tab towards the bottom on the left, you can actually sign up for the roster there. It allows you to share information and collaborate. Again, I mentioned it before, we ask that you use a non-DoD email address, but it's really a dynamic tool to help you network. And there's a council that's out there from that division that really tries to guide people, women veterans, towards a lot of success. California also has a minority veterans division, and they help with unnaturalized veterans with citizenship and naturalization services. And again, it's another group that provides information, advocacy, and outreach for support of California's minority veterans. California recognizes that sometimes when it comes to gender and identity, that there's a lot of gaps in benefits and services that are used. And so these divisions, the women's division and the minority and underrepresented veterans divisions, they've been created to make sure that those gaps are filled and that people are going out there and getting the services that they've earned, because you have earned them. And we want to make sure that you're aware of that. California, in addition to all these other things, we have a long-term care facilities, not one, not two, but 8 throughout the state. They provide medical, dental, rehabilitation, social activities, and it's not standard care. It's been recognized as the best care in the nation. In addition to that, the requirements are going to be based off of, there's several different requirements. So I want to make sure that you look into how eligible you are, but the actual fees for it are income based. So the requirements are, based on the needs of the individual. People that are experiencing homelessness, if you're a Medal of Honor recipient. So there's different qualifiers that will set you to the head of the line, but the eligibility is out there for everybody to apply. So we want to make sure that you're aware that those facilities are out there. In addition to long-term care, there's 3 state cemeteries. The one specifically in Yountville is for veterans who are associated with that specific Yountville home. But most veterans and most family members know that there are several VA-related cemeteries, but they're unaware that there's a couple of state cemeteries that are out there available for you. And again, that's something where you want to make sure that when you're talking about internment, that you apply for eligibility for that. Some common veteran websites that come up: va.gov, This gives 24/7 access for veterans. And this website really does have 4 specific missions: healthcare, making sure people are aware of their benefits, national cemeteries, and of course, supporting the overall mission of readiness. Um, this is your main tool to navigate through a lot of the benefits that are out there. Another great website is Ebenefits. This is actually a joint website from the VA and the Department of Defense. You may notice that when you're navigating through this website, it may drive you back to va.gov on a few things because it is an interagency related website. But you can view claims, look at transfer entitlements, and it really does allow you to, it's not just for veterans, but it's for family members, and it's also for care providers. So it's just a good tool to help you manage your profile with the government, excuse me. My Healthy Vet, as a former hospital corpsman, I've always understood the importance of people's healthcare because it's not just about you, it's about quality of life. And this website is designed to help you navigate, track, and really control your outcomes as a patient and improve your overall health and well-being. You can manage pharmacy refills and pharmacy prescriptions. You can manage your appointments. You can make sure that you're sending messages to different healthcare professionals. And if you need a copy of your records or you want more information, it's all available on this website. In addition to all of these things, My Healthy Vet has literally millions of pages of health related information. So that way you can empower yourself with the knowledge about different types of medical events and issues that are going on. It's a great website. Again, you've heard me say this several times today, and I appreciate everybody's patience with it, but we want to make sure that we're continuing to service your needs throughout your different transition into different parts of your career, because locations change, employers change, things change. We just want to make sure that we get a non-DoD email address. You're going to get a survey about today's webinar, so we appreciate you taking that extra time to fill it out, so that way we can make sure that we're giving you the information that you need and we're driving it in the right direction. Take a moment to register for My CalVet on our homepage, and give us a like, add us on Facebook. There's a lot of great webinars out there, so don't be shy. We recommend that you attend them all. I showed you guys this earlier, but I want to make sure that we go over it again. On our webpage, the CalTAP webpage, there's a ability to register for the newsletter that comes out. If you're on the main page for CalVet, you'll see this as well. When you register, it allows you to get our monthly newsletter, in addition to a bunch of other great resources that are out there. And this monthly newsletter just lets you stay connected with CalVet, CalTAP, and it's full of great information. Every month's going to be a different theme, and we try to be forward-looking and see what are the challenges and things that are coming up, so that way we can get you information and design webinars to give you the most empowerment for that. Here is our 1-800 number and my email address. If you have questions, concerns, we're happy to answer whatever questions you may have. And I'd like to take the next moment to turn it over to Lance.
Hey, how's it going? All right. All right. So I'm the local interagency network coordinator for the San Diego and Imperial counties. As you can see here, this is a link map, and that goes over the 8 different link regions in California. So no matter where you end up, when you're done with Palomar, if you stay in the area, if you move anywhere in the state of California, you will have a designated link. So you can see there's 8 of us, and we can get you linked up to your link. And I'll go a little bit into my story and what the link will do for you. So I was wounded in the 82nd Airborne Division in 2007 during the surge, and was medically retired, went through the VA system, getting a rating and all that kind of stuff. Used my GI Bill, got my degree at Cal Poly up in San Luis Obispo, and went on to work for several nonprofits helping veterans, and then ended up here at the state, continuing to serve veterans. So, I've been I've been through it all. I've been a student, which has its challenges, especially when you're, older and have had some life experience and you're surrounded by many who don't share those experiences. And then I've, had to navigate the VA system even back when it was even more challenging than it is now. So all the links that you see on this map, other than one or two of them, are not veterans. But the ones that are not, one is a lawyer who served veterans for many years as a lawyer, and the other was a father of a, I think Army, was killed in Iraq. And so, he's very integrated into the community as well. So, these links know what's going on. They have walked the walk, so to speak, and, really here to assist you. So if you go to the next slide, I'll talk a little bit about what we do as links. The main focus of our job would be outreach. Now that's changed quite a bit with COVID, but we are getting back out there. And as the schools and veteran centers start opening back up, we'll definitely be out there again. But we're really here to assist service members, veterans, and their families through the entire, life cycle of, service, separation, reintegration back into this civilian world, and all the way through. So we do a lot of referrals. We get to know our regions very, very well. In San Diego, there's over 300 veteran service providers. Most of these are nonprofits that are here to assist veterans in a myriad of ways. And so, if you have an issue, definitely call your link, and they might be able to plug you into some resources that you otherwise wouldn't know about. Most emergency situations, can be avoided. So it's much better to, seek that help, look for that hand up before it becomes an emergency situation, because once it is an emergency situation, and things are on a really strict timeline, it just gets a lot more complicated. So definitely reach out. There's unbelievable resources here in San Diego. It's one of the best counties to be a veteran in. And, the support here, the base access, all that's pretty amazing. Went ahead just a little soon, but we also help with emergencies. So when there's the fires and floods, we are there at the local assistance centers. So, if you were to have been displaced or lost your house, we can be there to help guide you and assist you on, what to do if you have a calvet home, getting you that insurance policy. Deductibles $250 for total replacement, and starting that rebuild process as fast as possible, or, losing all of your documentation, DD-214, everything that you would need, to get more assistance, may have been lost in that fire or flood. So we're there to help assist with that. And then we also help kind of guide policy on the local level, veteran advocacy. My role down here in San Diego doesn't see too much of that, just because we have so much support already. A lot of I think there's 2, if not 3, veterans on the County Board of Supervisors. So, a lot of those in government, really have to be veteran friendly and military friendly. We have 8 military bases here, and the most active duty service members in the entire world are stationed here in these 8 bases, these 8 military installations here in San Diego. So, there isn't too much that I have to do as far as pushing, the politics in that direction, but other parts of California for sure. This slide is, just kind of going along with that, connecting you to your benefits. We get a lot of calls from veterans who are having trouble reaching the EDD. EDD is not, it's a federal department, and we don't have access to any of that kind of stuff, but we do have contacts that we've met along the way who are here to assist veterans specifically, and other, side door numbers and stuff like that, that beats, sitting on hold for 3 days straight, trying to get EDD figured out. So whether it's something like that or getting a CalVet benefit or needing to get a service rating, we can help guide you and plug you into the county veteran service offices to do that. Most of our benefits are going to be serviced and approved through the county veteran service offices. There's like 52 or 54 of those in the state of California. That's that. And then, maybe you're struggling to get an appointment at the VA or get an answer or something like that. We definitely have contacts that work at the VA that we can, hopefully not too often, but sometimes, ask for a favor and see what's going on. You see Vet Center down there. These are wonderful free resources to combat veterans. The Vet Centers are kind of, under the umbrella of the VA, but you can go there and complete, anonymity, I think is what it's called, where they will not talk with, the VA medical side. They will not talk with the benefit side or your employers or anything like that. Everything's kept in-house at the Vet Centers. They provide amazing counseling services to not only combat veterans, but their spouses and families as well. So keep that in mind. All right, next slide. I think it's done. This is just my contact information. That is my direct cell there. So, if you have questions, a text or email to that email there is a great way to reach out to me, and I'll get back to you as fast as possible. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll turn it back over to Sean or Derek. I'm not sure what is.
Thank you, Lance.
Next.
I really appreciate you coming in and giving all that information. It's awesome. Next is going to be Charles, who's going to talk about the benefits and give us a good overview.
So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Charles Green. I'm here in the Los Angeles area. My job is I am the Chief of Outreach for Hospital System here at the Greater Los Angeles Healthcare System, and I'm also the Acting Site Manager for Sepulveda Ambulatory Clinic. A little bit about myself. I'm retired from active duty, U.S. Army of 20 plus years of service. So I'm honored here to be able to give you this overview. Next slide. So today I'd like to talk about the Department of Veterans Affairs. My main purpose today will be talking about healthcare, but just to start off, I'd like to let you know that Department of Veterans Affairs is made up of 3 entities. First is the VBA, Veteran Benefit Administration, and that part of the VA basically takes care of all of your benefit payments, as you might say, needs. Comprehension, pension, education, homeland guarantee, anything that's paying a monetary benefit will basically come from the VBA. The next part is from VHA, Veterans Health Administration, and we basically take care of all of your healthcare needs, and that's where I work at. And the final portion will be NCA, National Cemetery Administration, and that part of the VA, you can get reimbursement for burial expenses, headstone markers, presidential memorial certificates, and most of all, a place where our loved ones, especially veterans who paid the ultimate sacrifice, can be laid to rest in peace. So these 3 parts make up the VA, but today I'm going to be focusing basically on VHA. Next slide. So when you leave active duty or reserve component, these are requirements to join medical to get into our system. First of all, if you're coming up active duty, you have to have 2 years of active duty. And if you're a reservist, you have to complete the federal orders by the President of the United States to go into the healthcare system. So like if you're in the National Guard, you sort of have a dual role for the state and for federal government. So if you're in the National Guard, you would have to go on a federal deployment, like to Afghanistan, Iraq, for 2 to 3 months or whatever time the orders of state. And when you come back, it'll be time, you can have access to the healthcare system. Next slide. So once you get access to the healthcare system, once they verify your eligibility, then you're assigned to a priority group. So basically for the priority group, Priority group 1, there's 8 priority groups. I'm going to talk about it for a few of them. Priority group 1, if you're 50% service connected or greater, you basically get free healthcare for your service connected and non-service connected disabilities. So that's priority group 1. In a priority group, the disabilities comes from your service connected disability rating, determining, you know, what you got rated for from the VBA. Next slide. Next slide. So I really want to concentrate, next slide. I want to really concentrate on priority group 6. In priority group 6, there was a couple of things that are pretty important. So first, for Vietnam veterans, if you're a Vietnam veteran and you served from 62 into 75, as long as you were boots on the ground, you could always get into the healthcare system. If you were in Iraq and you served during these times stayed on the slide, you could always get into healthcare system. And finally, if you were stationed at Camp Lejeune from 1957 to 1987, because of the water contamination, you could always get into the VA healthcare system. Next slide. So once you are assigned a priority group, then you're assigned to a PAC team, which is the patient care alignment team. And every facility where you're located at in the country, if you go in a medical center, they have this patient care alignment team. And it's basically made up of a nurse, provider, care manager, clinical associate, and administrative clerk. While you're in there, they will be managing all of your healthcare needs while you're part of that team. Next slide. So if you're OIF, OEF, or OND, Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation New Dawn, you get 5 years of free healthcare for the disabilities that occurred in the theater of operations. So we give you a chance for 5 years to get into the healthcare system. Once your 5 years expired, you'll be assigned to priority group 6. But hopefully within 5 years, you'll be service connected. And if you're more than 50%, you could be in priority group 1. Next slide. So dental, once you get off active duty, you get a one-time checkup in the VA for dental to get x-rays and cleaning. But normally, hopefully when you left active duty, you had the opportunity to get checked on your dentals before you left active duty, like any comprehensive work that you might need it. So you have 180 days out to separate to get that one-time checkup. Also, once you get enrolled in the healthcare system, they have low-cost dental insurance for Met Life and for Delta Dental that you would pay low premiums to get dental coverage only for the veteran, not for the family member, only for the veteran. Next slide. So these are some of the medical benefits plans you get once you get to the healthcare system. We take care of depression, PTSD, sexual trauma, inpatient, outpatient treatment. We have a comprehensive women program. Next slide. We have specialty care, mental health, homeless services, and etc. So anything dealing with your health care, we will have a plan to fulfill that need. Next slide. So let's talk a little bit about our women's program. Basically in every VA facility, you have a comprehensive women's program. So women veterans have basically their own separate clinic when they can go in for all of these different services that are listed on the slide to get treatment. But the main thing about it is that they can go on confidentiality in the clinic. They don't have to feel intimidated by any male veterans, like cat calls or anything negative like that you might incur in the military. And also, they can also talk to other military members, other sisters in arms, and be able to share stories and feel comfortable just to get the services that they earn and deserve. Next slide. So for other priority groups, there's the other priority group 2 and priority group 3. It's basically everything that you're service connected for, you get free treatment for. But everything that you're not service connected for, if you're under 50% service connection, then you could be subject to a copay. Next slide. So the copays are basically $15 per visit for basic care, and for specialty care, they're like $50. So when you go in for your first initial screening at the business office, they look at your income and determine your eligibility. So say, for example, if your income is under $30,000, depending on where you live at, then your healthcare could be free, you know, because you're under the threshold, and because you're under that amount, your healthcare could be free, so you won't have any copays. But say if you make $50,000 a year and you have a family and you come in, everything that you're service connected for is free, but everything that you're non-service connected for, if you're under 50%, it could be a $15 or $50 copay. Next slide. So everything that I covered so far also is at www.va.gov. You click on healthcare and all this information is on there. So the Mission Act, some of you might be familiar with that. So in 2019, the Mission Act was implemented. So the Mission Act is basically another alternative for you to go out to get care in the community when the VA will pay for the cost to go out and get care, to be taken care of, especially when the VA is closed, and on weekends or Sundays or after hours, you can go out and go for walk-in care or for urgent care. I'm going to talk about how to qualify for that. Next slide. So under the Mission Act, these are basically criteria. There's 6 criteria. Number 1, if a VA medical facility does not provide specific care, you can go out on the Mission Act. If you live in a state like Hawaii, Alaska, or another territory that does not have VA services, you can go out on the Mission Act. If under the old choice program, if you have to drive more than 40 miles and the wait time is more than 30 days, you can go out on the Mission Act. If the VA could not provide a designated access standards, for example, if we're not meeting the standards for the drive times, or we're not meeting the wait times for specialty clinic or for basic care, then you can also go out on the Mission Act. Next slide. So this is the way, also, if you're referred by your clinician, if you're in the best interest, for example, say you have a specific cancer and UCLA, say hypothetically, or USC is a better place to get the care, then you can get a referral to get that specialty care out in the community. And also, if the VA is not complying with the basic standards with the quality and the specific area of specialty, then you could also go out the Mission Act. So this is the way it works. You go in and you talk with your provider, and your provider launches what they call a decision support tool. And the provider can take a look at the wait times, and they can take a look at the drive times. And the provider would ask you, like, say you come in for acupuncture, and the VA, it takes 6 months to get an appointment. The provider would ask you at that time, would you like to go off for care in the community? And you must opt in and say yes. Then the provider will send a referral to care in the community. Care in the community will set you up with an appointment to go out in the community to get that care. And they also will pay the billing to that individual provider who's giving that care for you. So it's like a seamless transition that you will never have to pay any bills. It's like a one-stop shop. So as you go along. So that's for the first part, to go out to use the Mission Act. Next slide. So urgent care. So in order to use urgent care and not emergency care, urgent care is basically when you go out and it's basically non-life threatening care. You have to be seen in the VA in the previous 24 months. That's key. You must be seen in the VA during the past 24 months. And what happens is you would have to go into a network, and you would have to find out in the network what providers are in there. And then after hours, you can go in for urgent care, for walk-in care. But the key thing is that you must find a provider who's in a network. If you go outside a provider outside the network, then you would have to pay for the cost out of your pocket. So basically, depending on what priority group you're in, your first 3 visits will be free, and then your 4th visit will be a $30 copay. So if you're in like priority group 7 to 8, every time you go out, you have to pay a $30 copay. But normally your first 3 visits for everyone going out would be free. And then your 4th visit will be a $30 copay. All this information is at www.missionact.gov. Next slide. So how do you get enrolled into healthcare? There's a couple ways. You can go to the business office, to any VA medical facility. You can go online and fill out a 1010EZ to WWVA, or you can go see a local VSO and they can help assist you. But the main thing I would say is get a copy of your DD-14, take it down to the business office where you live at, and they can help you get enrolled into the VA healthcare system. Next slide. Next slide. So these are some of the key things the VA is working on right now. VA and DOD is working on electronic medical record. So they're doing test pilots right now. So active duty members, when they leave, they won't have to have the old medical record anymore. Everything will be transferred to the VA electronically with the VA and DOD. Also, we have telehealth available that you can use telehealth anywhere in the country. Also, VA, now veterans can go online, use apps to get appointments. And also we're at the time offering COVID vaccination shots and booster shots, depending on the location where you're at. Next slide. So everybody knows about suicide. It's up to you, your responsibility. If you have a buddy who needs help, you should make sure you assist them. And this is a good number you might want to write down on 1-800-273-8255 to provide assistance to that help to get for suicide prevention. Just good to know information. Next slide. So also part of the VA is the vet centers. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. So the vet centers were established in 1979. So during the Vietnam War, veterans returning from Vietnam didn't feel comfortable going to the VA Medical Center. So they start going to the vet centers. So the vet centers are basically where you can go in confidentiality and talk to combat veterans who work there from all eras, all different war eras, and they can help you with all needs for readjustment counseling. It's a relaxing atmosphere. There's really no wait list. They have their own confidentiality, and it's tailored to help you with different programs. Next slide. Some of the services that the vet centers offer is individual counseling, group counseling. One thing key is marital counseling that you could go on with your spouse and you get counseling together, drug and alcohol. And they also have benefit referral assistant, to other parts in the community to help you with other benefits. Next slide. So again, the key thing is that it's a place, there's no cost, family members are welcome, and the staff are combat veterans. That's one thing that's really important, so they can really understand what you're going through. Next slide. Next slide. So basically that summarizes the VHA overview on health. At this time, I'll turn it back over to the facilitator for questions and answers.
Thank you very much, Charles. We're really lucky to have you and Lance here today. And Hira, I just want to say thank you to everybody for your participation. You guys are just a great reflection of all the different people that are working to make sure that service members, on active duty veterans, and the family members have the networks and connections that they need. I want to make sure and put your contact information up here, so that way if people have questions further on down the road, they can get back with you guys and follow up with information as well. And I'd like to take a moment to speak with my counterpart, Derek, to see if there's any questions in the question and answer box that he'd like to go over.
Thank you, Sean. We had a few come into the Q&A portion, and I was able to kind of answer those on the spot. I think pretty well. One question that I want to direct directly to Charles during his presentation was from Claudia. The question specifically was, for community care, can we use our own doctor?
So good question. Good question. So what happens is, as long as your doctor is in a network, you can use it. So this is the way it works. Once you sit down and talk to your doctor and you opt in, the referral goes to care in the community. Someone from care in the community is going to call you. They're going to ask you, do you want an appointment at daytime, nighttime? Do you have a specific provider you want? Do you want a male or a female? Do you have a name of a provider that you want to use? If that provider is in a network, they'll try to get you to go to that provider. They're going to ask you, when are you available? Do you mind driving this amount? So they're going to basically ask you everything that you want to know about that visit that you're going to be going to, and then they're going to try to accommodate that and then send you out in the community. So if your provider is in a network and they will try to get you an appointment with that provider.
Great. Thank you, Charles.
You're welcome.
So that was the only question outstanding that we had. I believe we had one question in relation to the status of a claim. And I would just recommend that that individual contact a VSO at their county, whether it's in San Diego or a surrounding county, to actually look into your claim directly, so that they can serve as your advocate for your claim. And,
Also,
yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to also add that they could also call 1-800-827-1000, and it could also let you know the status of your claim. Or you can go to Ebenefits, and it could also tell you the status of your claim.
Perfect. Thank you, Charles.
You're welcome.
And then we just had one request, and this is for any of our attendees. So if you would like a copy of today's PowerPoint slide deck, feel free to send an email to myself or Sean on the training coordinator side that you see right here on your screen, and we can respond to you directly and send a copy of that. And as well as just note that this presentation is recorded and it will be placed on our website shortly. And I also sent a link to SurveyMonkey in the chat. So if we would appreciate you taking a few minutes to complete our program evaluation, that really goes a long way in helping us provide all the great information and useful information to you all for today's presentation. So let's see. So I had one more question come in here. I don't have a direct answer, but the question is from James. It says, what is QTC and their relationship to veterans claims? I believe that is the contracting agency that the VA uses for C&P appointments. Am I correct with that, Charles?
Correct. Yes, you are correct. So basically, they're a contractor. If you can't go to a VA medical center, then what the VA is doing is they're sending you out, somewhere local, close to where you live at, so you don't have to go into the medical facility. And then sometimes because of the wait times and the drive times, QTC is faster and it's closer to where you live at.
Perfect. Thank you. So those are all the questions that we have, Sean. So I'll turn it back over to you if you'd like to conclude us.
Thank you, Derek. Again, I'd just like to take another moment to thank Charles, Lance, and Hira for being here today. Each of you is just an excellent resource for our veterans and for the service members and their families. I really just want to take that personal moment to thank you for all the hard work that you do. And from us at CalTAP, by all means, there's our contact information. We appreciate all your hard work and your effort. We look forward to seeing you in future webinars. And then with that being said, I'll end this webinar now. Thank you and have a great afternoon.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks. See you all tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow, yes, we'll be presenting the same information tomorrow for anybody who wants to join us. So thanks again.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Hira.
Thank you.